Edo State retains the unique position of arguably the most unpredictable swing state in Nigeria ahead of next year's general election. What with the lingering war of attrition between the Governor Godwin Obaseki and majority of the elected members of the State House of Assembly, in the past few years, loyalties have been divided not necessarily on party lines, but in many cases over personal and traditional matters going way back in history. Government has been run on a scaled-down structure, but the opposition continues to raise questions around public spending and provision of basic amenities for the people. Right now, we're being joined for a bit more focus on this matter by Chris Okaeben, a former Edo State Commissioner for Youth Sports and Social Mobilization and a member of Progressives Congress. And we will explore to what extent the outcomes of APC and PDP presidential primaries can impact the situation of things in that state going into next year's election. You're welcome to the show, Honorable Okaeben. Good morning.
Very good morning, Steve, and my sister Abby. Very good morning, and to all Nigerians out there, good morning. And to all APC lovers, good morning. Good morning.
Thank you indeed for joining us. Well, let's start with what is happening in Edo State. Until the former chairman, former chairman of your party, who of course was the former governor of the state, Adams Oshiomhole, emerged as a senatorial candidate. It looked like the APC was dead in Edo State. We've not been hearing of anything whatsoever, not even playing the role of the opposition as many people would have expected. And we see that your candidate in the last election, Ize Iyamu, has gone virtually mute. Is APC dead in Edo State, and does it look like Governor Godwin Obaseki, together with his deputy and PDP in Edo State, have succeeded in capturing, to use that word, capturing Edo State?
Thank you very much, Steve. First of all, let me correct the impression that APC was dead in Edo State. APC could never have been dead and will never have been dead in Edo State and will not be dead by the grace of God come 2023. I say this with so much confidence because in Edo today, we have indicated in a state where you have majority APC, 15 APC against 9 PDP members, you cannot say APC is dead. In Edo today, APC has a majority, 15 APC members. 2, in Edo today, APC is still a party in spite of the intimidation and harassment. We have remained firm. The APC flag has been flying in Edo. In spite of the threat to our lives, we have remained consistent. We have been holding meetings with our supporters. A lot of them have remained consistent that they have refused to jump boats to leave from APC because we have nothing to offer. We can't even put food on their table anymore. Because everybody believes in politics, once you don't have money to give to a politician to cook a pot of soup, of course you are no longer qualified to be a leader. But I'm proud of our APC members that 3.5 years, or 3 years now, by June, is going to be exactly 3 years. A governor shut down a different arm of government. Of the 3 arms of government in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, I dare to challenge anybody today where this will ever happen anywhere in the world. The other 2 arms of government are isolated. And then, of course, if the governor fails to realize, he should ask his other governor colleagues. Okowa is his closest friend because Okowa is close in Delta. Okowa respects his legislators. He adores them because they are the one that make laws for which he runs the governance of the state. So if we have a governor in Edo who do not understand that in politics, you must have the skills, the negotiation skills. You must have that persuasive ability to be able to persuade your enemies to work with you. It's not the amount of people you're able to kill that makes you a politician, but the amount of people you're able to sway to your side as a politician is what makes you a great politician. You know, I listened to you carefully. From what had happened from our convention, from our primaries, the presidential primaries, is it not very clear that Asiwaju is the master striker? He's a Ronaldo and Messi of football. Well, people are expressing different narratives. Oh, he bought governors. He bought this. While other aspirants were buying delegates, he was buying their leaders. That is a master of the game. The 14 laws of power says, never you try to outshine your master. The master is the master anytime. And in Edo, if you come back to Edo, you cannot say you are a governor until today. Even when we had meetings with these colleagues governors, who were interested in resolving these issues, who were interested in saying, how do we bring all of this to an end? God bless the likes of Governor Hope Uzodinma, Atiku Bagudu, Governor Lalong, and some other governors who were concerned about the democracy of this country. That the democracy in Edo State is being raped, and it is not good for the image of President Muhammadu Buhari, and that's why the APC leaders till tomorrow. And I'm using this medium, and I'm very glad you people raised this issue, which is very fundamental, that our new national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, must take the honor and wear the crown of honor by making sure he makes this Edo State House of Assembly a priority issue. Because, for me, if you ask me today, I'm still celebrating the victory of Asiwaju. I'm digressing now for obvious reasons. One, when we're privileged to visit him in the course of this travail, he said something to us, and for me, that is a gift to me. That, gentlemen, we must protect with everything humanly possible our Constitution and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Because for no account must any section of our Constitution be abused or raped the way it has been done in Edo, and that we should stand on the path of honor. That if not for anything, I'm quoting Asiwaju now, Nigeria will honor you people one day. Nigeria will celebrate this 14 of you someday. For what? It's not because we have money somewhere, we kept somewhere. But what we are doing today is that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria must be respected to the latter. 9 members cannot be seen to run a state and pass financial bills with all sense of impunity, as if it doesn't matter. So these are concerns. And I believe, for me, the elections are around the corner, whereas the governor left APC and went to PDP. And I'm sure PDP rejoiced when he came. But PDP now had a fundamental moral burden. Accommodating and housing a governor who have no respect for the rule of law. Because, like their name implies, People Democratic Party. Now they have undemocratic elements within their houses. And for me, anywhere I'm going to go with Asiwaju all over the 30 states of Nigeria is, first of all, does this party tend to, even for any 1 minute, respect the democratic tenets of our nation? The answer is no. Why? Because they have a governor within them who is running the state with only 9 members out of 24. 9 members out of 24. We wrote a letter to beyond what anybody will expect, my dear brother Steve and Abby. We did a letter, we went out of our way, and we did a letter to the national chairman and the leadership of PDP, drawing their attention to the illegality happening in Edo by one of their governors, on the need why PDP should call him to order, not even for the sake of APC, but for the sake of Nigeria, so that we are not seen in a bad light by the Committee of Nations and even in the Committee of World Powers, that, Nigeria is one country who is a lawless society. We're not in a banana republic. And we did that letter to the national chairman, and I'm glad we have a copy. And we have been watching the television, waiting that it will arise in one of their meetings as matters arising. And God bless leaders like Yesom Wike. Sometimes people say Wike he's too tough, and he speaks with so much. And he speaks the truth. What people don't like is probably the way he presents this to people. But in the content of what he's saying, it's something that you must pick the values from what he's saying. So for me, I'm glad today. My joy is that we have a candidate now. We have a candidate that I can say, talking about the democracy of this country today, Asiwaju has offered himself so that we can get it right. Asiwaju has offered himself to reorganize the sitting room again. Because the way it is now, the sitting room is so rowdy. We are like passengers without a driver. The vehicle is going like this. It seems not to even, we seem not even know where the vehicle is taking us to anymore. with Asiwaju's emergence. Edo, you need to see the jubilation that happened within the APC family, because that was the last prayer we had. That God, for the sake of Edo, in line with the promise of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and for the sake of these 14 members, God hear the prayers of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And today, I have a thanksgiving to do, because God heard my prayers. Asiwaju is now the candidate of our Progressive Congress, Steve.
All right, Honorable Okaeben, we can definitely, it's very palpable, you know, we can see you're in a jubilant mood. You know, last time we had you on the show, I can see a clear difference now. So now let's talk about the future. Going into 2023's presidential elections, in what specific ways could you say the overall outcomes will affect the political fortunes of Edo State? What do you hope to see happen?
I'm sure there's a lot in the positives coming to Edo State. There's a lot in the positives, in the sense that I'm sure your station have been watching with keen interest. Edo today, the governor has lost absolute respect for the traditional institution. He has lost respect for even the citizenry. I draw your attention, something happened about 3 weeks ago, before their primaries, or immediately after their primaries. I can't actually place the exact date now, where hoodlums invaded an appeal court. Abby and Steve. That is same state you are asking investors to come into, and you are encouraging thuggery. You are promoting thuggery and violence. You are creating a very high, some sort of tension that will not even want anybody to come out of an aircraft in the airport. Just not long here. He has gone to PDP. He's in PDP now. He went to PDP. PDP is divided into 2, or if not 3. He's almost have destroyed the political fortunes of some of his PDP members. Of course, that's not my business. It's even good radiance to bad rubbish. It's an advantage to us, because as it is today, they are in court with different aspirants, which of course we are going to leverage on. There are those who feel, oh, they have been so betrayed, haven't followed him from APC now to PDP, they are stranded, they don't know where to go. There are those who are saying, Asiwaju was one of those who we have been following until Obaseki carried us to PDP. I think we better go back there, where we know we'll find, at least I'm sure we'll see, somebody will see create small space for us in a political sitting room. We are in all of this situation now in Edo. And what I can tell you, the governance has long been abandoned in Edo State, arising from political intrigues within their folds. We are going to hop into that. And we're going to remind Edo people. There are video clips everywhere. When his predecessor handed over to him, he handed over an Edo where rain falls. In 5 minutes, you wonder where the water has gone to. Before Oshiomhole left as governor, he did an on-the-spot assessment of his level of performance in terms of his project. He invited all stations. Maokwe Chamberlain from Channels and some others were there. They went to the erosion control drainage that was done in Ikpoba Hill. And I can remember one journalist said, "Sir, I don't want to believe this is a state project." And I said, "Of course, what do you think it is?" It's a state project. Now, what is happening in Edo? That rain falls, and what you find that houses are submerging. In my constituency, I know how many people who called me. There were areas before Oshiomhole came where people abandoned. They never went there again. Upper Lawani area was a no-go area. People were selling their houses for 100,000 naira because they wanted to just leave the area. It was not overtaken by weed. When you stand in New Benin Market, you just see green swamp all the way to Ikpoba River. Oshiomhole came and said, "You mean people live here and they are part of Edo?" He said, "We will clear this mess." And he saved houses from collapsing. Today, there's no governance in Edo. And so we need to remind the people of hope, that hope has come. We need to remind the people that hope has come. I'll tell you to take something. We have a governor who does not believe that everybody can work together. When Adams Oshiomhole came on board in 2008, my dear sister and the brother, he went around, even to opposition PDP, he went to see Chief Anani of blessed memory. That's how politics have come and gone. We have won. The political campaigns are over. The next agenda now, sir, is how do we develop Edo. Edo is first before any political party. Nigeria, just as Nigeria is bigger than any of the political party. And I'm glad, in one of the statements you made just now, the two presidential candidates today that are very visible are allies. They've been friends a long time, and they've been together for a long time. They know each other very well. All they can but do is to begin to preach the politics of unity. What this country needs right now, and what they do also need, is to preach unity amongst ourselves. Because election is going to come and go. The people will remain with them. But why I'm not disturbed about Edo is because there's only one stranger in Edo. I will continue to repeat it in every forum I'm privileged to speak. There's only one stranger in Edo today, and that is the man we inherited from Comrade Adams Aliyu Oshiomhole. Because Abinisho, he has never lived in Benin. He was always a visiting visitor. Until Adams Oshiomhole made him chairman of economic team. He did not even have a voting right in State Executive Council. Whereas I was a member of State Executive Council, and I had a voting right in State Executive Council, the decision-making body, the highest decision-making body in Edo State at the executive level. He was only in observing capacity in that ESCO, and that's why I keep reminding them, and that is what they want to hear. That's what caused our problems. Because when he called me, and he said, listen, he was going to go into a war with Adams. I said, has he gotten to this now? You have started referring to him as Adams. I said, I saw this coming. I told Comrade, and I'm happy I've heard it with my own ears. And I said, what is the problem? He said, no, it's not about what is the problem. That man, I will send him packing from Edo, and I will make sure he doesn't enter this town again. I say, you are towing the direction of Peter Obi and Obiano. This will consume also. Let's save this money with which you want to fight this war to develop our state. As if I knew. 2 months later, the resources of Edo State were already leaving to go and lobby Abuja. Some APC leaders had to bring Oshiomhole down. Now that after they succeeded, they did all they needed to do, he went to PDP. And that was now a case of blow die penny go for Edo State taxpayers' money. And that is not possible.
All right.
So we find ourselves in a situation.
Okaeben, I feel you. I know where you're coming from, sorry. But let's dissect it further, particularly on the two key issues that you've been talking about, not necessarily about the personality of the governor, but about what he has done to the State House of Assembly. And my question is, what precisely is hindering you, the majority, the 15 of you in APC, from doing the needful? Or is this a case of a deja vu? I remember the last time that we had you on the show, I did ask you that question, that former Governor Adams Oshiomhole did something similar to the House of Assembly at that time, removed the roof of the assembly, and stopped the assembly from convening for a very long time. Is it a question of deja vu, or is there a way that you guys can still come together and outwit Governor Obaseki? That's one. The other one, you have spoken glowingly about the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a candidate of the APC. Edo, for now, is PDP. Moving into the general election, I know the role that Asiwaju played in getting Adams Oshiomhole to be governor at that time, when Edo was still PDP. What do you think are Asiwaju's chances against an Atiku while Edo is still PDP? Do you think that something will swing, or that once again Governor Obaseki might deliver for the PDP?
Now, let me tell you, first of all, Governor Obaseki has nothing to deliver. Let's just get it straight now.
But he won his re-election.
First of all, I will deal with the first one.
He did win his re-election.
Hold on. I will deal with the first. I'm going to deal with the first one, Steve. So I'll take the second one.
All right.
The first one is, you said it happened with Adams Oshiomhole and the last assembly, and when Uyigbe was speaker, and when they said they should remove the roof. There is a total difference here. Now, and I also said, and if you remember, I also challenged you. Thank God the clips are still there on YouTube. I said, if Adams did it, does it make it a normal that under a democratic process and in a country governed by a constitution, is it right? In any case, the both of them, there's no basis for comparison. Adams and Oshiomhole met an existing House of Assembly. In this case, it was a fresh assembly that needed to be inaugurated, that waited for the governor's proclamation for almost a week after all other state houses of assembly have been inaugurated. And we cried out and asked the general public and Mr. President to prevail on the governor that will be inaugurated for him to release our proclamation. And I must also quickly mention this here, Steve. Thanks that you took me back to this issue. The National Assembly has a lot of job to do. Yeah. We must visit that section of the Constitution, because if we are saying there are three arms of government, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, none of them is supposed to be a slave to each other. But with that issue of proclamation, it tends to suggest that the legislature is supposed to be a tenant of the executive. And I think it is a fundamental issue. Even if I'm not going to go back to the House, it's one matter I would like to sponsor in National Assembly. So that section of the Constitution is revisited, because I'm sure it's bringing about, that's what's bringing about all of this impunity. Now, going back to the issue you have raised, it is not a normal for a governor to suggest, when the Attorney General interpreted the section of the Constitution to the Inspector General of Police and said and advised, he did not direct the Inspector General of Police, that he should please kindly provide security for the inauguration of the remaining members. Upon our arrival in Benin, for us to go and join our colleagues to be inaugurated, the next thing you will find is the struck. And we were reliably informed that the governor was in a function somewhere in Isha when he heard that these members were going into the house for an inauguration, and he invaded the house. Today, it's still on BBC. Google on BBC now, you see it. Edo State, you see that coat of arms when they were pulling it down from a respected House of Assembly in Nigeria. No, I don't see where this is done. And coming back home, it is not right. It was never right that a governor should pull down a roof of another arm of government. It's like me coming to your house, Steve and Abby, and tell you, leave your house. I want to do renovation for you. How? What drawn me and you? What's my relationship with you? You want to do my renovation in my house? And you are not even informing me you started removing my roof. Of course, that's a threat to my life. That I have dealt with. So I think I've clearly answered that question. That with what he has done, what the governor has done, today I'm sure the House of Assembly now, they say it has been completed. As of today, what we are asking for, and I'm using this medium now to appeal to those who are very close to Mr. President, that the please prevail on him. He still has the powers and the privilege of sitting with the governor. We are not saying you should whip him. We are not saying you should arrest him to do the needful, but speak to his conscience to allow a different arm of government work on its own. Even when Governor Ganduje, Yaya Bello, Badaru, Kebbi Governor, Hope Uzodinma, Deputy Senate President, we had a meeting in Abuja, and they said, let's have a shortcut to this solution. Do you know, Steve and Abby, that we make compromises against our own will, that the governor can have the speaker, even though they are minority, let them produce the speaker to preside over 14 of us. We don't have a problem with it. Some of them said, but he will still be afraid that you might still turn the leadership of the house and still go after him. I said, what sin has he committed that we are going to go after him? And that was the foundation of the problem, Steve. He was deceived by some elements of some characters that, if you allow these people to enter the house, they are going to impeach you in the next 3 months. It sticked immediately. And since then, he vowed that he will never allow us to enter that house. He approached some of our party leaders before this, when he was having a tough time in PDP recently. Even recently now, before we did our primaries. When he was not sure what PDP was doing with him, he was approaching some of our APC governors of intentions of coming back to APC. And I dare to be quoted. He knows that this information I'm speaking on air now, that I'm on the ground. If you're a seasoned politician, go to beer parlor, you hear any information you want to hear. And they told him, one of the first primary reason of conditions for which we can tell the public you are not part of us is to allow our APC members enter the house. If the case was the reverse, it was APC that denied PDP members from entering the house. Today, You think Wike and the other PDP governors will allow peace to reign in Edo? Of course not. They will all take refuge in Edo until the needful is done.
We're almost out of time. If you can just spare a few seconds on the Asiwaju
Steve,
part.
please, just give me 1 minute to deal with the last one. Yes, I'm going to round up on the last one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, now, I want to thank you for what you said. That how does Asiwaju, I think the question was, how does Asiwaju tend to...
how do you think he can win Edo?
Images?
Yes. How do you think he can win Edo with Edo being PDP? With Edo being PDP now?
Let me tell you for free. Let me tell you for free.
Yes.
I can tell you not fewer than 75% of the PDP followership today would rather stay in their houses than staying in any campaign ground with Godwin Obaseki from the pains he has inflicted in them. So without going too far, Asiwaju is an enigma. If you gave even their candidates a privileged opportunity now to have a rethink, I'm telling you, he knows the capacity of Asiwaju. He would rather said, for what we have shared in the past, my dear brother, Asiwaju, I think you deserve it. Because to whom much is given, much is expected. Asiwaju has been there for all of them. He has been there for all of us. And this is the only time we can say, Egbon, Kabiesi, thank you for all you have done for us then. This is the time for us to reciprocate it. Because for me, in short, we have already located back to Edo, the 14 generals, the 14 integrity generals. We are ready. You can see this is the cap I now wear. I even wear this one to sleep. Because Asiwaju has come to liberate Nigeria.
All right, Honorable Okaeben, on that note, thank you so much for joining us to share your views and sentiments. As always, wish you a good day.